Baseball America has just done a ranking of the top 10 Texas Rangers prospects, and while I can't read that article because it is not free, I can take a look at the Sports Illustrated article that was made about this topic for the specific Rangers Fan Nation website. The top three, not surprising at all, Jack Leiter, Josh Young, and Cole Winn are the top three. And then the next seven rather, get a little interesting. You got Ezekiel Duran at number 4, who was recently acquired in the Joey Gallo trade. Dustin Harris at number 5, Justin Foscue at number 6, Owen White at 7, Evan Carter at 8, Josh Smith at 9, and Luis Angel Acuna at 10, who is, of course, Ronald Acuna's brother. And they mentioned some of the stuff down here about each of them. Duran was one of the 4 prospects that they got in the Gallo trade. And he's got some good defensive tools as well as a great bat. This just really does show what the organization has done. You got Dustin Harris, who was in the Mike Minor trade. And I believe that was also the one that they got Jonah Heim in, I think. They take a look here at Harris's numbers in both Class A levels, hitting .327, 20 home runs, 85 driven in, 110 games between both levels of low A and high A baseball. And of course, he was the Player of the Year later for the minor league levels. He will, as they mentioned here, likely start in Double A next year. I mean, there's no point of keeping him in Single A if he is batting .327. So pretty cool to see there. Foscue has had a bit of an up and down, but he turned things around in the fall league. And then, of course, we all know about Owen White's absolute dominance of the fall league this year. So no surprises there. He should certainly be moving on up in the levels of minor league baseball very soon. But that's about it for this article. I will definitely have this linked below. It was made by Chris, and he does all kinds of good stuff for the Fan Nation website, so definitely go follow him on Twitter, and I'll have this article below. But going back to Baseball America here, they not only did a ranking of the top 10, which, like I said, could not view on here, they also did a 2025 rotation and lineup projection, which I thought was interesting. I've never really heard of that, it's like specifically 4 years from now. But they have Sam Huff at catcher, Nate Lowe still at first, second base Marcus Semien, of course he isn't going anywhere, Young at third, Seager at short, Duran at left field, Evan Carter in center, and Dustin Harris in right field, and having Foscue as the DH. Now, I actually don't know a lot about Evan Carter. I assume this will pull up his player page. Okay, so he was, oh wow, he is quite young, born in 2002, which makes sense because it said he would be 22 in 2025. So, and it looks like he's already been in the Down East Wood Ducks level, which is insane. Yeah, for being 18 years old, low A, and he would have already been on it if they even had a season. So that's pretty good for straight out of high school, So you can look at that all you want and be like, well, he hit 236, but you tried doing that when you're 18 against some guys who were probably like, at least in their low 20s, and he was 50th overall in 2020. So did not know that. Then they have the rotation, of course, which is John Gray, Jack Leiter, Cole Winn, Owen White, Dane Dunning, and then Joe Barlow closing. Now, unless Leiter doesn't prove himself as we expect him to, there's no way he's not going to be the number 1 starter. I know John Gray would be the veteran in this situation, but there's no way that Jack Leiter is not the number 1 starter for this team. Obviously, this year he won't be, but him under a 33-year-old John Gray, who, if he proves himself too, he could have that spot very easily. But right now, I would be shocked if that ends up being the case in 4 years. But I'm not great at predicting. So then they have this article closed out by kind of saying who has the best tools of each prospect, and it's pretty interesting how specific it gets. But to go through this quickly, best hitter for average is Josh Young, who we should see next year. Best power hitter is Sam Huff, hit that 500-foot home run not too long ago. Best strike zone discipline is Josh Smith, which I don't know if that's different than the Josh H. Smith listed here. I'm not sure why they had done that, but there you go on that one. Fastest base runner is Jace Easley. That makes sense. I mean, he stole 70 bases for the Wood Ducks, I believe. Let me fact check that before I say that. But I believe that's who did that. I remember the name pretty clearly, and that page does not want to load, but we'll let that load while we look at the rest of this. Best athlete overall, Bubba Thompson. Best fastball is Alex Spees. Best curveball, AJ Alexi. Best slider is Cole Winn. Best changeup is Cole Reagans. Best control, Cody Bradford. Best defensive catcher, Matt Watley, which I actually have seen him play in person. I went to a Rough Riders game, 4 or 5 months ago at this point, and I actually caught a foul ball that he hit. So that was cool. Best defensive infielder, Luis Angel Acuna. Best infield arm, Chris Cease. Or is it Sizey? I'm sorry, I totally butchered that. Best defensive outfielder, Bubba Thompson. And best outfield arm, Josh Stowers, who he's got some power himself. He's not a power hitter, but I also did get to see him in Frisco, and he's got some out-of-the-park power, because I do believe he hit one that went out of the park last year, and this page just refuses to load today. But oh, there we go. I wanted to make sure I was right about the stolen bases thing. Yep, exactly 70. So that is, at any level these days, that is ridiculous, and almost a season of more walks than strikeouts. But obviously he was getting on base quite a lot. On base of 403. I mean, yeah, if you're going to be stealing 70, you gotta be able to show for it. So I'm not sure what the future for Jace here is, but you know, he is quite fast. There is no doubt about that. But anyway, all that is really what I wanted to talk about in this video. It's just showing that it's promising, you know. They got a promising future, despite what, you know, people may think. I mean, this is a solid 1 through 9 right there, or I guess not in any order, but a solid lineup. And especially with hopefully Seager and Simeon doing what they've been doing for the past few seasons, and especially Seager staying healthy. You'll have the power of Young, you'll have the experience of Lowe, power of Sam Huff at catcher, Duran hitting for average, Evan Carter doing what Evan Carter does, you know, and Foskey and Harris to round things out. So that is quite a lineup, and a pretty solid rotation, if I do say so myself. Dane Dunning was a bit of a wild card this year, but he was solid. And then, of course, Owen White, Cole Winn. I mean, that's a young rotation if they all are keeping it up by then, led by John Gray and rounded out by Dane Dunning with Joe Barlow to close it out. So no complaints about that team. But y'all let me know in the comments what you think. Do you agree with this ranking of the 10? Do you think they're overrated, underrated, the Rangers as a whole, I mean? And would this be a realistic lineup 4 years from now? And would they have a World Series by now? So, by then, rather. So lots to discuss there, but it's looking good for Texas, and I do believe they might finally be able to pull off the World Series sooner than later. I've said that a few times before, not recently, but my original theory was that like 2020 or 2021 would have been the year, because we got the new ballpark, they're going to sign some big guys going into it, and then they'll actually have a shot. But they were holding off spending, and boy, did they spend once they finally did. So that is all for today, and thanks again for watching. Until next time, I will talk to y'all later.